Hey everyone, it's Ash. Today I decided to do a video on why I use a wheelchair part-time. I've been looking down because I need a lot of notes because there's going to be a lot of information that I can't keep straight by myself, so I'll forget something, so I'm going to be looking down. I've always had an up and down relationship with using a wheelchair. Lately it's been better as I've been talking to friends, but usually I've had a more hateful relationship with it. When I was younger, I used to think that I was lazy and would rather stay home than use it at all. But now that I want to do Disney and Universal and stuff, I need to use it because I can't do it. I tried doing Halloween Horror Nights back in October, and when I was trying to do Halloween Horror Nights, ended up sitting down in the waiting line for like 45 minutes, and I realized that one, that's really gross and disgusting, and two, no one wants to do that all day. And although we were there for a couple of hours, after the third one I had to go sit down in the Harry Potter Diagon Alley part for like a couple of hours after that, and we ended up leaving early anyway. I use a wheelchair for many reasons. Cerebral palsy, I have the mild case, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, spina bifida, chronic fatigue syndrome, osteoporosis, osteopenia, osteoarthritis discans in my spine and in my right knee, as well as POTS. I have many more medical issues, but those are the main ones that affect my mobility. My mobility on a day typically depends on what I did the day before, how many medical issues I'm having that day, as well as what I'm doing the next day, so I don't overexert myself and won't be able to do what I want to do the next day. My cerebral palsy affects my ability to walk long distances and stand for a long time. I have it mild for the most part. I am actively able to push past where my boundary is, but I will have consequences later on, typically the next day. It also causes extreme tightness in mostly my leg muscles, to the point where it feels like I have rocks under my skin, and no amount of massaging, or I like to punch it because that's the only way I can get it to go away, really. But it doesn't take the soreness away. And if I end up pushing past where my boundary is, my legs will just eventually just like give out completely, far quicker than anyone else's. I've been working on this for a long time and I've been building on it, and I can stand fairly long time, but walking is typically where it starts to fall apart. But lately I've noticed a decline, and this decline happens every couple of years, so no amount of building on my stamina will stop it from happening. It just goes right back to where it was. The last time it happened, I think, was like 2017, where it just like basically declined to like I could hardly walk anywhere, and there's no way I can stop it. It also causes pretty bad balance issues, and but I also have balance issues from also my POTS, which I will talk about later on. I also have spina bifida, but I'm not sure exactly how that affects my mobility. I just know, talking to doctors, that it does affect my mobility. My EDS affects my joints. They are hypermobile, which causes my joints to be more flexible than most people's and sublux or dislocate. This tends to make me roll my ankles, and my shoulders tend to slip out of place more than most. I also take longer time to heal than most people. So if I get a cut, it'll take me twice as long, if not longer, than most people. As well as if I roll an ankle, it takes most people typically the 6 to 8 weeks that you're supposed to like heal. Mine will take twice as long, and by the time I am like fully healed, I've already rolled it 3 more times in that. And taking a rest, you can't rest one ankle and then roll another. It's just, you can't rest both at the same time typically without using a mobility device like a wheelchair. Because I've used crutches on and off for years on end, and they don't typically work. For instance, last year I rolled my ankle I think 7 times, and it takes around 2 months for it to heal for a normal person, and for me it's about 3.5 months, and at that time I've already rolled my ankle again. I also have chronic fatigue syndrome, which basically means when I go to sleep, I wake up feeling just as tired as when I went to sleep. This fatigue tend to pile on top of each other for days on end until it feels like I don't have any energy to give to the day, and I just stay in bed. And that can happen for only a day at a time, and after a day I'll feel fine, or it will happen to the point where I will stay in bed for days on end, only getting up to take my dog out and also to go to the bathroom and to sort of eat, but eating doesn't really help, but it also doesn't make it, not eating also doesn't make it any better. So I also have a bunch of bone density issues, osteoporosis, osteopenia, osteochondritis dissecans in my spine and also my knee. There might be another one, but I can never remember the name of it. I have over 250 microfractures in my spine. They stopped counting at 250. I have over 250, but they stopped counting at 250. I also have 2 in my knee. The only way for them to fix either of them is by surgery, and my spine would be too risky because I also have an impingement on my L1, and I don't feel like being paralyzed if they make a mistake. And also my knee is not fixable because they don't know whether or not, if they were able to screw in the pieces and fix it, if the bone that they screw into would be healthy enough, and it could also just crumble and I'd be way off in a worse situation than just leaving with it. My knee also has a meniscus tear, and I think there's something wrong with my ACL. I'm not sure what other ligament is also wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's my ACL. When my knee first broke, I was casted for about 6 months, and my knee healed. Oh, also my femur was also broken, but that did heal. My knee didn't. After 6 months, they didn't even do another x-ray. I don't know why, but they're like, you're healed, go out and do whatever you want. Well, I was doing theater and swimming with it, and also PT, and it wasn't getting any better. It was actually hurting a lot, and I couldn't figure out why, so I went to the doctors again, and they were like, let's do an x-ray. Well, it turns out it never healed, and I was jumping and doing a bunch of things on a broken knee still. So I was casted for another 3 months, non-weight bearing. I could do absolutely nothing, and it was still broken after they took the cast off and did another x-ray. And the only option I have left is surgery, and I don't want to because the bones that they screw into could just crumble. But I am actually leaning towards maybe possibly doing the surgery, as I tore my meniscus, and that is extremely painful. It still is like really painful still, and I'm not sure walking on it isn't doing any better, but also keeping it like this isn't doing anything. So I'm leaning towards possibly doing the surgery, but I'm not sure yet. I also might have broken my toe. I'm not sure if it's broken, but there was too much inflammation to see on the x-ray, but I could have broken my toe as well. I also have POTS, which is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. That basically just means when I stand up or sit up from laying down, I have a really high spike in my heart rate, which can cause a bunch of symptoms like lightheadedness, vertigo, or pre-syncope or fainting, which is syncope. I had syncope a lot when I was a little younger. I haven't had that many episodes of fainting in quite a long time. Not like years or anything, but like a couple months. I get pre-syncope pretty often, but it's when I was standing up for about 2 years or so, I was just getting blackness, or I couldn't hear, which is like a super weird symptom. Like either you stand up and you go completely blind, no, you can't see anything, or you just go completely deaf. So I would sit back down, usually, but you know, if you have to like go to the bathroom, you need to go. So eventually I would just end up like crawling to the bathroom if I needed to go, which crawling on the floor to go to the bathroom isn't very fun. Or I would just typically try to wait it out, but as soon as you stand back up, it's gonna happen again. So I kind of just did what I had to do and then deal with the consequences later. I haven't had that many issues lately with my POTS, but it just causes really high heart rate and stuff like that. It's not fun, it's scary. I'm scared when I start going to Disney and go on roller coasters that I will pass out, and although I'm with my family, I'm scared that that's going to happen, and it's really embarrassing when it happens. Yeah, that's all I gotta say for my POTS. I'm probably missing some things, but I forgot to write the section down for my POTS, so I'm just going off of what's in my brain. I will type in the comments if I am forgetting anything. That's all for today. Hope you liked this video and it wasn't too boring. Bye.